when China and India commissioned the first of a new generation of frigates at almost the same time, whose design is superior, whose combat power can really carry the ocean-heavy responsibility. 2025 January, China 054B frigate first ship, Luaha ship, and India P-17 a frigate first ship, Nilgiri, joined the two countries' naval sequence. This across the Himalayas sea race instantly attracted global attention. The sea race instantly triggered global attention. These two types of frigates not only represents the latest achievements of the modernization of the Chinese and Indian navies, but also reflects a very different military-industrial system and strategic thinking. China's 054B with precise positioning and mature technology to achieve small steps fast, while India's P-17 is trying to build a super warship through the universal assembly. In this silent competition, is the larger tonnage of the Indian battleship advantage or Chinese frigate cost-effective philosophy is better? From the design positioning, China's 054B frigate full load displacement of about 5,500 to 5,700 tons, a continuation of the 054 frigate modular design concept, but in the power system, radar detection, stealth performance, and other aspects of the realization of a comprehensive upgrade. Its core task is as a carrier formation of underwater shield, focusing on anti-submarine warfare and medium-range air defense, while taking into account the ocean patrol and escort tasks. In contrast, India's P-17 a type frigate, although named frigate, but has a huge hull of 6,700 tons, even more than many countries of the destroyer standard, trying to assume a similar Indian P-15 B-type destroyer air defense command functions. This positioning difference is directly reflected in the configuration of the ship's system. 054B with S-band double-sided rotating phased array radar, detection distance of 400 kilometers, with the red flag 16F air defense missiles 160 kilometers range, building a three-dimensional air defense network covering the near and far range, while the P-17A is equipped with the Israeli LM-2248 four-side phased array radar, but the detection distance is only 250 kilometers, with the Barak 8 missile's maximum range. The maximum range of the Barak 8 missile is only 70 kilometers, which makes it difficult to face the capability of modern anti-ship missiles for surprise defense. In the core area of anti-submarine warfare, the 054B shows significant advantages. It carries the D-20F anti-submarine helicopter, with a combat radius of more than 200 kilometers, with bow sonar, towed line array sonar and Fish 8 rocket-assisted torpedoes, forming a Trinity anti-submarine system. Especially the all-electric propulsion system will reduce mechanical noise by 60%, which greatly enhances the stealth. On the contrary, P-17A, despite the larger tonnage, but not equipped with a dedicated anti-submarine helicopter, relying only on shipborne sonar and Russian anti-submarine rockets, anti-submarine capabilities remain at the level of the early 054A, and even due to the integration of the power system problems resulting in poor noise control. This gap stems from the two countries' understanding of the battlefield environment. The Chinese Navy sees anti-submarine as the key to the survival of the carrier group, while the Indian Navy is still stuck in the big ship is strong mindset. Comparison of firepower configuration highlights the technological generation gap. 54 although along with the 32-unit vertical launch system, but through missile upgrades to achieve asymmetric advantage. Red flag 16F can intercept hypersonic targets. Eagle 8-3 anti-ship missiles swept the sea at a height as low as 5 meters. The 100 mm main gun rate of fire is increased to 90 rounds a minute with the ability to land precision strike capability on land. The P-17's 32-unit vertical launch can only fire Barak 8 missiles with a range of 70 kilometers, and the anti-ship relies on the BrahMos missiles jointly developed by Russia and India, which have a range of 300 kilometers, but the speed of Mach 3.5 is lagging behind in front of the modern air defense system. More critically, the 054B's vertical launch system is reserved for compatibility with future electromagnetic artillery, laser weapons power interface, while the P-17's universal brand equipment due to compatibility issues, it is difficult to carry out similar upgrades. It is interesting to note that the two countries' frigate construction efficiency and cost control in stark contrast. China's use of North and South double factory mode of synchronization of the construction of 054B, a single ship cycle shortened to 18 months, cost control in a reasonable range. The future plans to build at least 40 ships to form a scale advantage. India P-17 a first ship construction took 10 years, the cost of a single ship up to $1.07 billion US, and due to the collapse of the gantry crane accident led to the hull structure of the hidden problems. 7. Planned follow-up ship service time is still variable. Behind this gap is the fundamental difference between the military-industrial system. China has realized the radar, power, weapon system of the whole industry chain autonomy, while the Indian P-17, a radar from Israel, missiles rely on Russian and Israeli technology. Power system procurement of US and German products, assembled development model seriously constrains the generation of combat power. If you look into the future battlefield, 054B's systematic thinking is more forward-looking. Its integrated stealth mast and artificial intelligence assisted decision-making system can realize real-time data sharing with 055 destroyers and aircraft carriers, playing a key node in the anti-intervention, area denial strategy. Although the P-17 tries to create a high-end image through the tonnage and radar number, but because of the lack of synergy of the subsystems, the actual performance may not be half of the design indicators. As the U.S. Navy in the Constellation class frigates in the development of reflection, the ship's sophistication does not lie in a single parameter as outstanding, but in the system to maximize performance. From this point of view, 054B may not have P-17 a visual deterrent, but its precise positioning plus technology iteration, path of development, which precisely confirms the Chinese Navy, does not seek absolute leadership, but practicality efficient, pragmatic philosophy. It is worth noting that the choice of shipborne weapon systems of the two countries also maps out the differences in strategic thinking. India replaced the Italian OTO 76mm gun for P-17, equipped with Dart guided shells to enhance anti-missile capability. In an attempt to make up for the lack of close-in defense system, the Chinese Navy chose to return to the 100mm gun, with a higher rate of fire and the quality of the projectile to strengthen the ability to strike land. Behind this trade-off is a complete defense system support, 1,130 close defense guns and red flag. 10 missiles have been able to cope with the threat of anti-ship missiles, do not need to rely on medium-caliber naval gun of the fill-in-the-gaps function. This difference proves once again, the performance of equipment cannot be judged in isolation, must be placed in the entire combat system. When we look at the geostrategic level, the deployment of the 054B is even more profound. The first two ships were assigned to the North Sea and South Sea Fleet, which not only strengthened the carrier battle group's regional anti-submarine network, but also provided a high-end platform for regular patrols in disputed waters of the South China Sea. India will be deployed in the Arabian Sea P-17 direction, more out of the Pakistani Navy, and China's Indian Ocean presence of the dual concerns. Although its large ship cruising mode can show the sense of presence, but it is difficult to form an effective tactical deterrent. This deployment difference reveals the essential difference between the two countries' maritime strategies. China's pursuit of systematic, functional oceanic capacity building. India is caught up in the quantitative race and symbolic politics of the myth. This frigate duel, in fact, is a microcosm of the path of modernization of the two ancient civilizations. China through the technology precipitation, iterative upgrading, gradual mode, in the 054B on the all-electric propulsion, intelligent command and other key technology breakthroughs. India is trying to, by modernization, across the chasm of the weak industrial base. The results are caught in the build is not as good as buy is not as good as rent, vicious circle. When the second ship of 054B, Qingzhou ship to 18-month cycle of rapid service, India's P-17, a first ship, is still struggling in outfitting and sea trials in the quagmire. This is not only the gap in shipbuilding efficiency, but also a true reflection of the maturity of the national industrial system.